Welcome back, everyone. You've tuned into Kadem for a critical deep dive today. We're digging into the recent buzz around far-right activist Laura Loomer and her apparent influence in former President Trump's inner circle.
That's right. It's quite a story developing.
Yeah, we're going to break down this a private meeting she reportedly had at Mar-a-Lago back on April 2nd, 2025.
With Trump and his national security advisor, Mike Waltz.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the research she supposedly presented, basically alleging disloyalty within the National Security Council.
Right. And then the fallout, these reported dismissals of senior NSC staffers, Brian Walsh, Thomas Boodry, David Feith.
We'll get into Trump's side, too, his acknowledgement, but also denial, and the whole controversy surrounding Loomer herself. Stick with us, folks. This gets into how national security might be getting shaped. And, hey, if you find this breakdown useful, hit that like button and subscribe.
So, thinking about how things usually work in the executive branch, it's pretty striking, isn't it, a meeting like this?
Definitely. A former president, his NSA.
And someone like Loomer, who's completely outside any formal government role.
So, April 2nd. Mar-a-Lago. Loomer presents research, specifically about NSC staff.
Yeah, and it seems the focus wasn't really, policy differences.
No. Reports suggest her research targeted people with ties to, like, establishment Republicans or even just folks who criticized Trump on social media in the past.
It sounds less like a policy review and more like a loyalty check, almost.
That's how it reads.
And these weren't junior staffers. We're talking senior directors, Walsh, Boodry, Feith. People usually in those roles have significant experience, foreign policy, intelligence.
Right. Their sudden departure could actually impact things, policy continuity, operations.
Absolutely. And the timing coming right after that April 2nd meeting with Loomer.
Yeah.
It's hard not to connect the dots, at least tentatively.
Okay, so Trump has actually talked about this.
He has. He acknowledged meeting with Loomer, confirmed she gave him recommendations about personnel, but he denied her input directly caused the firings. He framed it more as routine staff changes, normal administration stuff.
Standard playbook, maybe.
Yeah.
Acknowledge but distance.
Seems like it. He did call Loomer a strong supporter, though.
Which still leaves you wondering, right? Even if her list wasn't the only factor, the fact that someone like her, with her background, got that kind of access on national security personnel, what does that signal? Let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below.
Exactly. And her background is pretty relevant here.
Yeah, Loomer is known as a far-right activist, promotes a lot of conspiracy theories, controversial statements.
And importantly, holds no official government position. 0.
Plus, she's been banned from major platforms, right?
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, even PayPal, for extremist views.
Correct. So the fact that someone with that specific history seems to have the ear of a former president specifically discussing national security staff, it really makes you question the vetting process, doesn't it?
It really does. What kind of advice is potentially influencing things at that level? If you're finding this analysis insightful, please share this video. It helped get the word out.
So stepping back, the bigger picture seems to be about influence, right? Who gets access, whose perspectives matter.
Yeah, it's just maybe individuals outside the usual government channels could be having a real impact, even on something as critical as national security.
It could point towards prioritizing a certain kind of personal loyalty over, traditional expertise or experience, and a willingness to take input from really unconventional sources.
Which again brings you back to the vetting process. What are the criteria now?
That's a key question.
So this whole situation, Loomer, the meeting, the dismissals, it really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What does this mean for how national security teams might be built or what their priorities might be going forward if controversial figures from outside can potentially sway personnel choices?
It's definitely something worth watching closely.
Absolutely. Food for thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on Kadem. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next breakdown. See you then.